Welcome back. Well, it is holding up for the mid caps, up around 0.2%. We have the Nifty, which is down around 0.2%. So good time to get chatting with a couple of companies then. Wonderla Holidays is the one that we're tracking today. The stock, in fact, is a rank outperformer. It's up 76% this year and is among the top gainers after what was a strong Q1. Arun Chittilappilly, who's the managing director at Wonderla Holidays, joins in on the show to discuss business with us. Arun, hi. Welcome to the show. Well, Q1 was strong. You've done well in terms of footfalls as well, and we've attributed it obviously to a recovery post-COVID. Tell us how Q2 is going and what is your guidance for the entire fiscal? Do you expect to sustain that Q1 performance throughout, or was a large part of it also because of pent-up demand?
Yeah, so for us, Q2 is also looking pretty strong because like you said, the pent-up demand is still there. People have not been able to go out of their homes and go out for outings. And so we are seeing a strong revival in demand. Of course, Q2 is not traditionally a very strong quarter for us. It's one of the weaker quarters because of rains and, all those kind of things. But still, it's looking pretty strong. I think we should do better than pre-pandemic numbers for sure. So it's looking pretty good for now.
Arun, what do you make of the kind of rains that we saw in Bangalore over the weekend? You have a park in Bangalore, you have a resort in Bangalore as well. Are people scared of, stepping out, or irrespective of the rains, you have seen footfalls come by or be normal in your Bangalore park?
So, it's unfortunate what is happening in Bangalore right now, but we are not new to this kind of rain. In fact, it has been raining in Bangalore on and off for the last 4-5 months. We never really had a hot summer this year. There's definitely a change in weather patterns. But having said that, that has not really affected our footfalls so far. We are not in one of those low-lying areas. And also the misconception is that the whole city is underwater, but that's not true. It's just a few low-lying areas which are underwater, and that's unfortunate. But I think majority of the city, a lot of areas are pretty okay. So it's not too bad.
Okay, that's good to know. Since you're an amusement park company, I have to ask you about that unfortunate incident that happened in Mohali, right? Where there was that rotating drop tower ride that suddenly crashed and 50 people were injured. Now, Mangalam was telling me earlier that you guys manufacture some of your own rides. What do you do to enhance the safety protocol? And do incidents like these generally impact overall demand as well?
See, I don't know what has happened in this Mohali park, and from what I understand, it's like a temporary park, and with probably locally made equipment. I'm not sure, and I don't know what kind of maintenance and safety standards they follow. But we, even if we make our own rides, they are built to a very high tolerance and international standards and a very high degree of safety. So when you don't have that and when you don't do the maintenance properly is when you have these kind of issues. And I'm happy to say that Wonderla has definitely been one of the flag bearers for top safety and hygiene in the country, and we've rarely had these kind of incidents. So that's, I think it depends on each operator and each person how they procure the machines and how they maintain the machine. So it'll depend on these two factors.
All right. Arun, just following Sonia's point, from a business standpoint, is there any kind of standardization of safety protocols which is followed in India? And could that in fact be a risk to business if in case there is no standardization of safety protocols?
Well, there is no standardization of, there is the Bureau of Indian Standards, and we have, inspections from different authorities from time to time. In fact, we have to renew our licenses every year in most of the geographies that we operate in. So there is a lot of checks and balances in place. But having said that, these kind of incidents can occur. And if you look at the world news and the amusement park scene, you do hear once in a while these kind of things happening. That's unfortunate, but I think majority of this can be avoided. I don't think it can be completely zero, but I think it can be definitely minimized. And it calls for a lot of care from the operator and the staff and training and those kind of things also. In that sense, it's kind of the analogous towards with the airline industry also, right? wherein there are big machines and that need to be maintained properly.
Take that point, Arun. Finally, before we let you go, I presume you would be taking insurance against all these incidents as well. You spoke about new parks. Odisha was a place under consideration. Have you finalized the land for that? That's point number one. And secondly, about the management contracts that you were seeking, what's the update?
So for us, Orissa we finished our land acquisition. In fact, we are in the process of designing our new park in Orissa. In Chennai, we actually have already acquired the land. We are just waiting for the Tamil Nadu government to, help us with the local tax that dispute. We wanted to, finish that before we go ahead with the project. But as it stands, it's looking favorable. We are hoping that we can start working on these two geographies fairly quickly. Management contracts are still, it's still an early phase for us. We are still, talking to different players. As and when we have an update, we'll definitely share with you.